Mustangs. Let's get on it a little bit. Because that's definitely one thing this 10-speed transmission is good at, and just makes you kind of forget about everything that's wrong with this car. What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today's video is not going to be as fun because we're going to talk about everything that has been wrong with this Mustang. So let's fire up the car and we're going to go for a drive and talk about everything that has gone wrong with this. And the reason for this video is basically this check engine light. This has been on for like a few thousand miles. It comes and goes, so I am not able to figure this out. It's not only just a check engine light, I've experienced some transmission issues too, so I'm going to cover those throughout my ownership. I've had this car for almost 5 years now, almost 50,000 miles. I absolutely love this car. It has had some problems. I'm not really going to cover the build quality or paint quality issues because that I have covered before, and that's really a hit or miss depending on what Mustang you're going with. But 10-speed transmission issues, the check engine light, those I feel like are something I just want to be transparent with. If you're in the market to buy a new Mustang, or if you already have one, you're considering should you keep it for long term, this is going to be very helpful for you. So let's go for a drive and we're going to talk about the car. Before we talk about the 10-speed transmission issues, let's talk about this check engine light. So I've had this check engine light for a few thousand miles, and this is for basically catalytic converter, which is very odd to me because I still have cats on. I don't have long tube headers on. And the funny thing is this light comes and goes. That's what the annoying part is. I've cleared it only once, but for some reason the light comes in randomly, then it goes away, and after a few hundred miles it would come back and it would just go away on its own. So I'm thinking maybe bad pump gas, so I've like drained out pretty much the fuel and started fresh, but that still hasn't helped. Like the light is still on. Despite all of that, the Corsa Extreme sounds so good and just makes you kind of forget about everything that's wrong with this car. If you do get a GT, you have to get Corsa Extreme or just one of the louder exhausts. This one has no drone, so I absolutely love driving this. And every time I get on the car, I forget about everything that's wrong with this car. But of course, that's not to say that you can just kind of excuse all these issues that I've experienced with the Mustang. So the catalytic converter, the P0430 is what this light is for, and the light comes and goes. I've spoken to a dealership. They're willing to look at the car if I return it back to stock, because there's still a federal emissions warranty for 8 years and 80,000 miles, which is I'm still under 8 years and also 80,000 miles. So they said if it ends up being catalytic converter and you haven't heavily modified the car, they will happily replace the catalytic converters under warranty. So now that we've done our drag strip passes and the season's kind of closing off and it's getting cold now, I'm going to return the car back to stock, see if the light pops up, because who knows, if the tune is causing the issue, who knows, the issue might not even pop up and the light actually goes away for good. If not, then I have to drive the car on the stock tune for a little bit, drive it around, get a feel for it. I think it's like 1,000 to 2,000 miles where the key cycle resets. So I have to go through the whole process before they can take a look at it. Otherwise, they can tell the systems are not ready for it, and we don't want that. Honestly, it's very odd to me because the catalytic converters don't really normally fail at like 50,000 miles. That's pretty much unheard of. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of concerns me. I've always maintained that Mustangs are pretty reliable, but having catalytic converters go bad on relatively stock car at 50,000 miles is a little bit concerning. And I don't know what that means for the long-term reliability of this car if I'm gonna have other issues just going off. But let's talk about the 10-speed transmission too, because that is also one of the problem childs of these refreshed Mustangs. Let's get on it a little bit. Because that's definitely one thing this 10-speed transmission is good at. Anytime you get on the car shifts very quickly, gets you in the power band, and you get to hear the Corsa exhaust, and the car just goes. So that's very exciting with the 10-speed transmissions. But of course, it also comes with its own issues. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I've had to take in my car twice for the 10-speed transmission. And that just hasn't been fun because the transmission is really good. When you're getting on it full on, it's just very good, very smooth, very quick shifts too. It's no DCT, but it is very quick. But when you're talking about just running the car and kind of driving around town, it does a lot of gear hunt. You'll get some occasional jerkiness, which is funny because GM also had this 10-speed, but they don't have any of these issues. It's basically enforced tuning, which they have improved a lot in the S650 Mustang. So that would be one of the reasons to go for the S650 Mustang, solely for the transmission. Like right now I'm in sport mode, and it will downshift right away. And if I like brake, it will basically downshift for me. So all of that is very fun to do. But the two issues I've experienced is one has been in sport mode. The other one has actually been in drive mode, which was actually pretty annoying. And I didn't use a normal or drive mode for the longest time anytime I wanted to enjoy the car. And that was basically every time you used a normal or drive mode, and I would be in 10th gear. Hold on, let's get on it for a little bit. Ooh. The temperatures are a little cold, so as soon as I kind of swerved over there, the car wanted to lose a little bit, even though I didn't really get on it. But yeah, so the 10-speed transmission, the first issue I ever had, which was like only 5,000 miles when I bought the car, was if I would be in drive and my gear would be in 10th gear, then it would basically have a very harsh downshift every time it went from 10 to 6 or below. So this pretty much meant I could never get on the car. If I'm like cruising on the highway, I want to get in the power band and I want to get on the car a little bit, I would have to strategically downshift to 8 first and then go all the way, or just put the car in sport mode. Every time I did 10 to 6 or below, it would jerk so hard it would pretty much shake the whole car. It was not pleasant at all. So I took the car in, they looked at the car, they ended up diagnosing it was like a learning module issue. So they reset it. There was a corrupted file that they found, so they basically reset it, deleted the file, and since then it was fine. For about 20,000 miles or so, I was driving the car. I had no issues whatsoever. 10-speed was shifting like it should be. And before I even tuned the car, I started having some issues where if I put it in sport mode, and the 3rd and the 5th gear would basically just upshift so harshly, so violently, it would shake the entire car. And the funny part is if you went full throttle, it would not do it. It would only be if you're partial throttle in sport mode. The upshift to 3rd and 5th was so violent, it would just shake the entire car. But if I got on the car and I'm just shifting like basically full throttle, no issues whatsoever in 3rd or 5th upshift. So I took the car again. They said they were gonna have to do some relearning of the transmission. They updated the software, and since then it's been fine. Now luckily, most issues you'll find with the 10-speed transmission are software related. As you can see in both of my instances, they had to update the software and the problem kind of went away. They really don't have any hardware related issues unless you're pushing like 700 plus horsepower to the wheels, and that's where you kind of, the 7th gear tends to be low. So if you're considering a used Mustang, I would definitely test out the 10-speed transmission, drive it through like all different scenarios, different modes, put in drive, put in sport mode, even toggle switch like the different modes from here, and then really get an idea for this, because sometimes it's in drive mode, sometimes it's in sport mode. There's no really, you know, common issues, I would say, but it can just act up, so to speak. So it could be in normal mode or sport mode. So definitely try it out in different modes if you're considering buying a used Mustang with the 10-speed. Sometimes also, like if you put the car in drive or reverse, I've had it on 2 rentals. I've experienced that, where if you put the car into drive or reverse, it would jerk the car so bad. And that tends to happen when the transmission is kind of cold, but that shouldn't be happening. That's not normal. So yeah, I mean, the 10-speed transmission issues, like every time I experienced it, I wasn't too concerned, because it was just taking it to the dealership, getting a software update, and having it fixed. But this check engine light that I have right now, that's what is a little bit concerning for me. Like, even the dealership said that they will take care of me. They will diagnose it for me, and if it ends up being catalytic converter, which is what the code is for, they will happily replace it for free under warranty. But I mean, that just should not be happening at 50,000 miles. Like, catalytic converter should not be going at like 50,000 miles. Like, that's usually cars with 100,000, 150,000 still have their OEM CATs without any issues. So I don't know what's wrong with this one, where 50,000 miles, you're having issues with the CAT. So while I was pretty confident that I'm going to keep this car for a very long term, and I still kind of maintain that, it has me a little bit concerned. I don't know what else could go wrong, because now I'm out of warranty. So anything that goes wrong, This one, luckily, there is a federal emissions warranty in play that honestly I didn't even know about until this issue happened. But now I'm a little concerned because you just don't know what else could go wrong, and I'm gonna have to pay out of pocket for that. Now, minor stuff is, of course, as a car gets used, you will have to basically get those things fixed. But catalytic converter, 10-speed transmission, even the 5.0 issues, like anything like that, if that was to happen and I have to pay out of pocket, I won't be happy. But yeah, guys, this is pretty much everything that has gone wrong with my Mustang in 5 years or 50,000 miles I've owned it. Again, nothing major, I would say, but these concerns can be, you know, now that I'm out of warranty, I'm having to think about it a little bit more. So if you're in the market for a used Mustang or you have one, I hope this video is helpful for you to see what potential issues you could come up with on your Mustang. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like this video, and of course, subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.